All right, so the last one I want to show you is the, and let me turn this off, the Elvis operator, or the conditional operator. This is also very handy, but also very tricky. Okay, for the Elvis operator. You will hear this in the term. If you hear this term, that's what it means. Okay, it's this guy. Okay. So this means, so this is usually used in this example is when you return some data. Okay, so this usually you put on the right side of the equal sign because it's an expression. It has to return something. Or I mean, you can go and do something else that you don't have to, I guess. But usually return something back. Okay, so you could do something like I can check 4 and 3 and 1, same thing. So I say usually you put something like, I'll make it very simple. Int sum equals, okay. I would say like, so you put a condition here. Condition. So back to that parentheses, right? Check the condition, and then put a question mark here. Okay. So you test the condition. If this is true, then return, let's just say returns 10, returning that value. Else returns this value. Okay, so that is the Elvis operator, or the you hear the Elvis is kind of like a colloquial term, but the technical term is conditional operator, or the ternary operator is the technical term. Okay, the Elvis is just a cool term. And the reason why it's called ternary is because you need 3 operands. 1, 2, 3. These are binaries. 1, 2, right? These are binary operators, means 2. And there's also the unary operator. The unary is 1, which is this not. Right? That's a unary. It's 1 operand, only on the right side, just 1. This is also a unary operator if I do like sum plus plus. So this is a unary operator. It's only 1 operand on the left side. Or I could put on the right side, doesn't matter. Right? Same thing. I'm just incrementing by 1. So these are unary operators. Then you have the binaries, this, and then you have the ternary, 3 of them. So fortunately there's no 4th one. So look at quaternary, I'll be like crazy, but okay, so I'm testing condition here. I could say n1 equals n3, right? If n1 is equal to n3, then maybe not just 10, but I can say like I can do an operation here. I'll do it a little bit. Just put n, it return 10. Otherwise, if it's false, it return 20. So this is the true and false. This is true, false. If this is true, return the true part, else return the false part. Okay? So I'll put a note here. This is the condition. And then true part, and then false part. Okay? Put that, and then matches that. And then assign the data back to some value, because that needs to be returned. Sometimes it doesn't, because maybe you just want to print something. Depends. Okay, if you're just printing something out here, then you don't have to assign to something. I could just test on it and then print something. So in this case, if I put in, oh, I didn't have that other statement. Oh, there it is. It's almost so late. Oh, I put that read later. Where did I put it? Oh, yeah. So if I put in 10, wait, what happened? I didn't print anything down here. Let's print the sum. System out the sum. So we'll see the result here. It's either 10 or 20, right? Based on my my n3 value. So again here I ask for the number, I read into n3, and then, you know, let me move these down because there's a, oh, that's okay. Let's try this again. So I put 10 because n1 equals to n3. That's true, so it's going to print 10 because 10 is n1 for this example. So I get the sum of 10. If I put other than 10, then I'll get a different result. I'll get 20 because now if I put 11, I'll get 20 because this is the false value. Okay, so true, return that, false, return the other one. And this condition here can be a single condition like this, or it could be a compound condition just like this, same thing. Or it could be a function inside here. We'll learn about function later. Well, I mean, we learned already. You can put function here as well to calculate something, return the data, and then compare that value. So in here, instead of 10, I can say if that is true, then n1 plus n3, right? Return the sum of that. Otherwise, return n2 plus n3, right? So you have those type of condition, results.
The false part can be
No, this part here.
does it have to be numeric?
In this case, it has to be numeric because I'm returning back to the cell. So it has to be an integer. Yeah. If I don't return anything, then yeah, that will be a. You can print something instead. So I think, let's say if I do this, if I don't assign it, I think like that. Don't assign something there. Yeah, I don't think like. Yeah, no, you have to assign it. It has to return something back. Yeah, it needs to return. In Java, you do, but in JavaScript, you don't have to. Okay, so now if I run it, it's the same thing. If I put 10, I'll get 10 plus 10 is 20. If I put other thing than 10, if I put 11, I get 11 plus whatever n2 was 50. Yes, so it'll be 61. Yep. Okay. So this one here is exactly the same as what? If this is true, then that, else that. So this is the shortcut for this. n1 equals n3. If that is true, then, right, sys out then as a sum equals n1 plus n3. That's what it means. Else, then sum is n2 plus n3. Exactly the same. So from this to a single line of code. So it gets shorter. And this is very handy, very useful, because when you test something, then you could do really quickly. Like this, I can print the sum here. I show you I can pull this whole thing inside here, and I can omit all of these here. If I wrap it correctly, like that. So you can see it gets really short. I'd save like a lot of lines of code. Let's just print that out. It's all happening inside here. Okay. So it's very common when you do this. You get better at these and see how they work. Because basically what I'm doing is I'll compare the number of 1 and 3. If it's true, then print that, otherwise print the other. Okay? That's why it's, if you look at it, it makes a lot of sense. It's really hard to see, break it down, and then do the usual way until you get better, and then you will write this kind of code here. But as you can see, if I save this, if I run it, it should still work just like before. Okay, if I enter 10, I get 20. Okay, if I enter 11, I get 61. Okay, so it just shows you that there are lots of ways of how you can tackle these kind of problems, and they can get really fancy like this. Okay, you see that a lot of coders like to do this way because it makes the code look more complex and advanced, and they look much cooler, I guess. But it's really hard to debug. We have an error. It's really hard to find the problem because of this way. Okay, but you can do this. And I'll show one more thing, and then we'll end the class today. So back to sum again. Now, this part, I'll just do this. I have some spaces here. Okay, so remember this is one condition, and then this is the true part and the false part. Okay, so in here is a block of code. You can have a nested operator here as well. I can say the next one. This is the true part, right? So you can test again. You can say test in 2 equals 10, like this one down here. If that is true, then return this part. Else, return that. So this part must have a true part and a false part. So this whole thing is the true part for the outer one. I still need the false part, so I need another one over here saying, and 3 times 2, for example, something like that. So it gets really complicated now. But if you follow this, you'll see that you check for the outer condition. If it's true, then print this, and you keep going until you find the, so this is another condition. I'm testing this again, and then I test that. So this part here is the condition itself. This one here is the inner condition, ends there, and that is the true part. This whole thing here is the true part, and this is the false part for the outer one, right? So it gets really complicated as you go deep like this. So you have a nested ternary inside another one. And this is not ideal, but some people like to do this just because they think they look cool. But this is the same as saying, if this is true, okay, no, down here, if this is true, then if this is true, then print that. Else, down here. Okay? Else, and then you have something here. So this is the same code as that one. So if this is true, then check. If this is true, then you print that. Else, you go out there. So you have, if this is true, then if this is true, you print that. Else, you print that. Or else, you print, no, this actually, yeah, I'm confusing myself already. So don't go into that deep. There's 2 layers down. It's get confusing already. So usually you use it only for just one if-else block. So very useful for something like this. Okay, save yourself a couple lines of code just by using the ternary operator.